Parking for hospital visits and doctor apps. I've somewhat made my peace with the ridiculous cost of healthcare for chronic illness in this country. But then you're going to nickel and dime me so I can only access your facility through your exorbitantly priced parking garage? Agreed. I'm a nurse and have to pay for parking at the hospital I work at. All hospital parking should be free. Insulin. I know how much it costs those assholes to make. And it's not like you can live without it. Splitting the bill evenly when some people eat 3 times as much as me. Why would you split the bill evenly? Found out I have accidentally been paying for 2 HBO subscriptions for months. I just feel dumb about it. That happened to me with Hulu. I was super upset about it. Ticketmaster fees. Your $45 ticket is now $78 and we will charge an extra $10 if we ship you your ticket. Way too much for my internet service. They are the only option in the area and really take advantage of their local monopoly. We live in a rural area. The last house, internet, home phone was no problem. Moved about 20 miles away, and we are in a 1-mile radius where the only internet provider doesn't cover. Didn't know this until the internet technician called and said nope. This was after waiting almost a month for an appointment. We got satellite, which is expensive and barely works. The best reviewed satellite service is almost $300 per month. Basic dental, vision and healthcare. And even more, the insurance that is supposed to, but usually does not cover it. Why do my eyes and teeth need special insurance at all? Glasses. I'm fucking blind without them, and because of my migraines I need the lenses with all the bells and whistles, so it's always $. Right? What the hell are we supposed to do? The minimum for my glasses is $500 and some of them have been $1,000. Tire air. Are you referring to the tire air pumps at gas stations? If you just walk inside and ask the attendant, they will turn it on for you for free, at least in CA. Check the laws in your state. Therapy. My parents and first husband abused me for a very long time and I'm still paying for it. But not really, because it's my responsibility to be a good and healthy person. It sucks that I have to be the one to clean up the mess other people caused me. And therapy can be so hard to get that people with depression or other conditions that cause fatigue and executive dysfunction just don't bother. Will I still try to seek help and be better every day? Yes, of course. But it sucks that the victim is the one who has to pay. Parking at work. I pay $50 per month just to park at a parking lot owned by my employer. My manager told me recently that if I'm not thrilled with my long commute on public transportation and having to go back into the office full time, then I should get a car and drive in. They have 4 parking spots, and parking would cost $200 per month. On top of, the cost of buying a car and get insurance and gas etc. Lol. No, I'm just going to look for a job that lets me work remote or is closer to where I have to live now. Water. Like the kind that comes out of the ground, also, air. As in for tires. In the US, if you walk into the gas station and ask them they should give you a code for the air and then it's free. Being alive. I'm not even having a good time. Same. Period products. I didn't fucking ask for this. They're now free in Scotland in all public areas. Star-struck first country in the world to do so. Hopefully other countries follow suit soon. Crossed fingers. Light skin tone. A few weeks ago a vet tech almost killed my cat. They were doing a very routine urine draw with a needle and they cut an artery in her abdomen. She essentially bled out internally. The vet revived her and quickly transferred her to a critical care hospital for blood transfusions and further care. Anyway, on the way out of the vet clinic to head to the hospital they told me that I had to pay for the clinic visit up until they almost killed her. And I was in shock and just trying to get to the hospital. So I paid it. And then later I realized how messed up it was that they charged me anything at all. Especially at that moment when we didn't even know if she was going to live. Since then the clinic has paid for over $11,000 in medical bills for my cat, but I still resent the $130 they charged me right in the middle of that trauma. WTF, that's horrifying. I'm so sorry and I hope your cat is okay. The balls they must expect staff to have to ask customers to pay up in situations like yours. No thank you. Education. If everyone could learn what they want, I think society would benefit as a whole. Agree. In the past, everyone figured out what they wanted to do, and if it didn't require years in a classroom, they didn't fkn do it. Nowadays it's almost like everyone has to prove they want to work in a specific field by going through years of irrelevant expensive bullshit when our grandparents' generation were offered apprenticing roles or could start in any field at the lowest rung and gain the experience that way. It makes it extra hard for people who don't do well in structured learning environments like university to succeed. Anything for work. My current job is pretty decent about it, but there's a lot of jobs that will provide jack shit. Like, when I was in education, nearly everything was out of pocket for the teacher. In counseling, you do need games and art supplies. If I was expected to provide those things out of pocket, I'd be pissed. Half my paycheck went to stuff that I needed for my kids. At the beginning of the year, the city would reimburse us funds spent on classroom supplies. It was $100. I also have 300 students, so yeah. Being reimbursed for $100 when I spent thousands, on an already low salary, was indeed a slap in the face. Medications, wellness checkups and insurance. The whole health, medical system is sucking me dry. I have a few chronic illnesses and am constantly going to doctors who refer me to specialists, prescribe new medications and send me for all types of tests. Insurance premiums, I pay for Medicare and an additional plan, copays, costs that insurance doesn't cover, prescriptions and additional supplements and OTC meds cost more than my monthly mortgage. And I still feel lousy every day. Some days I wonder what is the point. Woman shrugging. Period products and birth control. Even after my insurance covers 80%, it still costs over $200. Woman facepalming. And estrogen when it's menopause time. Glasses. I shouldn't have to pay to see. OMG. Facts. Nerd face. Tips. If I'm honest, about half my family is European and we just never do that there. And then in the US, tips. Like, can we normalize paying people a proper wage so I don't need to tip? Disclaimer, TED Talk. Also don't attack me. My mother was a waitress, bartender. I know the struggle firsthand. Off tips. Many people don't. Which is why we tip well and are always kind to our servers. I resent the system in which I'm required to pay. It's often so arbitrary, too. Like around here it's common to tip your barista but not the fast food worker. I remember living in California, where all jobs are required to pay a minimum wage even if tipped, and my husband worked as a line cook for a burrito place for $12 per hour and I was getting $15 per hour as an admin. If we ever dined out, it was highly likely that our waitstaff were paid far more than us. We still always tipped 20%, but ouch, lol. I definitely blame the culture and corporations, though, and believe higher wages for everyone is the key. Trash bags. I'm just gonna throw them away. And why the fuck are all of them scented now? Pet rent. I paid the flipping pet deposit. Who do I need to pay rent? Seriously. My deposit will cover any damages or whatever, but do I really need to pay extra for my cat that just freaking sleeps all day? Insurance. I am a careful driver. I've never been in an accident. And yet every year I am required by law, if I want to drive, to fork over a large sum of money in the off chance that I need them. And that sum seems to grow each year due to other people's accidents. Things I had nothing to do with. Should I actually need them, they will fight tooth and nail to find every little thing to try to deny my claim. Saying that I messed up and that it's my fault even if it isn't. I will never see any of the money back that I pay in either. Nothing gets returned to me for maintaining a clean record. Yet they will reap record profits each year. It's just a massive scam. Same. I was broadsided by a deer a few weeks ago and looking at the claim estimate for repairs for just a few thousand, it feels almost like a slap in the face because I know how much I've paid them over the years. If only I could have put those funds into a savings account. Pants with pockets too small to hold my stuff. If men's pants can have pockets big enough for a wallet or phone, why are women's pants sold for more with tiny, or non-existent, pockets? Because it isn't attractive to have pockets on women's pants. Women's pants are tighter than men's because of the utmost importance at all times is how attractive you look, and you need to be able to effectively demonstrate your spermworthiness by emphasizing your hips and thighs. Pockets. What use have you for pockets, woman? You haven't even got a husband. Doctor or pharmacy fees for anything that a man has caused. contraceptives, STD checks, morning after pills etc. I'm a bloke. I was speaking to my girlfriend, and a few other women have mentioned this to me, but having to buy a handbag or some sort of accessory to carry your stuff because the pockets on your clothes are either non-existent, or impractical seems annoying. Way too much stuff for exes. It's like I was obsessively trying to not come off as a gold digger. Not something I ever needed to work that hard to prove. Same. I paid for many more meals than my exes did, for both of us, not just me, until I was 33 or so, and I made myself stop paying for stuff for guys who made 3x more than me. Even now it's a struggle because I can almost hear my backward, right-wing grandparents in my head blaming women for taking advantage of poor, easily manipulated men who pay for everything until they're left with nothing. Menstrual products. No woman enjoys bleeding out of their vagina every month, but yet we still have to pay out the ass to make sure no one has to be aware that we're bleeding. Gas and electricity. In the UK, energy prices have soared to crazy amounts. People are choosing whether to eat or heat their homes in the winter. My bill has gone from £110 to £240 a month, overnight. It's expected to increase again in October to £300. Why? Because it comes from Russia through a long pipeline.